everybody, and welcome to this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here. In just a moment, we'll be joined by the guys, Andy Barron, Steve Watson, and Jared Keene. But right now, here are the latest Hiller happenings. In the final game of the regular season, Hopkinton Hiller boys varsity basketball took on Wayland. Jack Iannelli got the offense going for the Hillers.
A little flat, and then refocused after an early timeout, and they were able to pull away after that. Here's a three-pointer for Jack Iannelli.
Iannelli for three. Count it!
Yeah, not waiting for the offense to get settled or the defense to get settled. Just takes it right up. They're setting up in a 2-3 zone here, the Hillers. Oh, Iannelli with a big steal.
Quick hands by Iannelli, and he finishes. Already 8 points for Jack Iannelli.
That's a quick 8 points for him.
Ross taking it up. Good steal there. Iannelli with the quick hands once again to the rack, and he gets the bucket. It was a 14-9 Hiller lead entering the second quarter, and the Hiller offense picked up the pace even more. Trying to take it in. Caulfield up for the floater. No good. Iannelli grabs it. To Dedejian. Dedejian puts it up and in. Joe. Iannelli taking it in, squeezes between two defenders, gets it to Marcinowski, who banks it off the glass and in.
Great assist by Iannelli on that play. There's a steal by Iannelli.
Oh, look at that steal. Feeds it back, and Dedejian finishes.
Another assist by Iannelli there.
Joe gets it into Marcinowski, up and in with the hook.
Yeah, not as easy as it looked. A lot of body contact on Marcinowski there.
Oh, Iannelli again. Count it.
Wow, that's amazing. Just catches the steal right out of the air.
Quickest hands I think I've ever seen. Now Willitson for three. Got it! Hillers outscore Wayland in the second quarter, 21-11. The Hillers had 6 different point scorers in the quarter. It was a 35-20 Hillers lead at the half. During the halftime break, I had a chance to talk with members of the Hiller girls basketball team who were fresh off a win versus Tewksbury in a Westboro tournament consolation game. In case you missed it, here's the conversation. Hopkinton Hillers girls varsity basketball team. Girls, introduce yourselves. Who do we have here?
I'm Elena Davies, and I'm a senior.
I'm Kate Finnegan, and I'm also a senior.
I'm Bethel Flanagan, and I'm also a senior.
I'm Caroline Kane, and I'm also a senior.
All right, so you just went to the Westboro tournament and had a couple of good games against Wayland and Tewksbury, got a nice win. How was the tournament, and how was that experience?
It was really good. I mean, the Westboro tournament's always fun every year, nearing the end of the season, so we were looking forward to it this year, but it was a good couple games we had.
Yeah, the Westboro tournament is just such a great atmosphere, and we all love going to it. I think we played really hard, especially today on offense and defense.
It's good to get a 10th win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely, and it must feel good heading into the playoffs with a win. Are you ready for the postseason?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we're ready.
Excited. It's been a little bit, but we're excited to be back.
Yeah.
All right, and I have to ask, you're all captains, and I believe all in your senior year, correct?
Yes.
So what's your favorite memory from being part of the Hiller girls basketball team?
Oh, that's a good question. There's a lot of good ones, but I think my favorite memory might be honestly senior night this year. Although we didn't get the win that we wanted, it was still so much fun, like doing all like the senior night activities, and it was crazy that it was finally like our turn to be the seniors. So that was a lot of fun.
All right.
Mine was senior night last year, Bruce night. It was really fun. It was just a great day to celebrate Alexis. So. I've just enjoyed playing with these people forever. We've been playing together since like 4th grade, so it's good to finally be together one last time.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'd also say senior night and probably just like the Spaggers with the team, because like Bethel said, we've been so close, and like it's so nice to share this bond and play one last time with everyone.
Well, girls, congratulations on a great season. We're looking forward to the playoffs, and it's been fun following all of you throughout your Hiller days.
Thank you so much.
It was a good back and forth battle in the third quarter. Underneath, kicks it out to Del Ponte. Willitson, Iannelli. Up for the shot. Count it. Driving in. No good. Batted in the air, and it's collected by DeLuca. Up top, Cho for three. Got it!
Big bucket for Cho.
Attempt. And it is off the top of the hoop. Rebound, Marcinowski off the missed Burke shot. DeLuca feeds it over. Now Willitson from the corner buries it. The Hillers had 8 different point scorers in the third and outscored Wayland 20-18 in the quarter and led the game 55-38 heading into the fourth quarter. As they work around the perimeter. Cross to Dedeja. Now Willitson from the corner. Knocks it down, plus the foul. The rare and one on a 3-ball.
Wow, he's going to go up there for the 4-point play. Play by Wayland to get a guy loose down the lane. He just could not connect.
Iannelli buries a 3 from the corner. The Hillers pulled away in the fourth quarter and got some of the backups in the game. Hopkinton took the win in their regular season finale over Wayland, 74-53. Jack Iannelli netted a team-high 19 points in the game. Sam Dedejian and James Marcinowski also contributed 12 points each, and Cooper Willitson had 11 points in the Hiller victory. With the win, the Hillers finish the regular season at 17 wins and 3 losses. The Hillers now await the MIAA Division II playoff brackets to see when they play next. Wayland finishes their season with 4 wins and 16 losses. The MIAA playoff brackets and schedules were released this past weekend. Hiller boys basketball finished the regular season with a record of 17-3 and captured the 6th seed and will host the winner of 38-seeded Hingham and 27th-seeded Reading Memorial at a date and time to be determined. Stay tuned to our website, hcam.tv, for updates. Hiller girls basketball finished the regular season 10-10 and captured the 24th seed and will visit 9th-seeded Quincy in the first round of the Division I playoffs. The game is scheduled for Friday, March 1st at 6:30 p.m. Hiller boys hockey finished the regular season 14-4-2 and captured the 18th seed and will visit 15th-seeded Masconomet in the first round of the Division II playoffs. The game will take place Wednesday, February 28th at 7:45 p.m. at Valley Forum in Haverhill. Hopkinton Dover Sherborne Girls Hockey Co-op finished the season 5-12-4 and fell just short of the playoffs. Congratulations to the team and first-year head coach Chin on a great, very competitive season. Be sure to stay tuned to the HCAM website, hcam.tv, and our social media pages for the latest updates of Hopkinton Hillers playoff action. Hello, everybody, and welcome to this segment of HCAM Sports Talk. Tom Nappy here, and joining me on the panel, we have Andy Barron, Steve Watson, and Jared Keene. We have everyone here. It's a miracle. Guys, how are ya?
Doing great. Doing great. How about all of you? Glad to be back.
Absolutely. Well, we haven't talked about the Super Bowl, and we haven't been back since our Super Bowl preview show. So first, the first matter of business is I need to congratulate myself because I am this year's pick champion. Numero uno. I have reclaimed the title. I've taken back what is rightfully mine.
Well done, sir. Well done. Well done.
Good job, Tom.
Thanks, guys. The total scores, I finished first with 186.5 points. Jared was second with 179. Mike was third with 175. Andy was fourth with 172. And Steve was dead last with 170.
Oh, my. Oh, my.
Steve, I edged you out. I thought I was definitely coming in last, but I edged you out.
I beat you to it, man.
So I think we're all where we deserve to be.
I think I wished on almost every single one of our props that you sent us, Tom. I might have hit maybe one or two of those.
You did really bad on the props.
I did.
You hit 3 of them.
Jesus.
And I
Oh,
hit,
man.
what did I hit? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Wow, I did better than I thought. I hit 9 of them.
9.
9
That's
of
pretty
them?
good.
Yeah.
Wow.
I wish I actually bet on those props. That would have been nice. The ones I did bet on are the ones I lost. Let's see. Mike hit 4 props. Steve, I didn't even get Steve's props, so he was gonna be last either way, though. He could have got them all right and still left.
Wow, I see how it is.
I don't think you sent your props, Steve.
Yeah, I did. I sent I think a few before the game. Well, I wasn't here for the preview show because I was getting my wisdom teeth out that day, and probably didn't know what planet I was on that night. So, you know,
Yeah. No, that's
Now
tough.
you have no wisdom anymore.
yeah. So all that wisdom's out the door, boys.
So we haven't had a chance to talk about the Super Bowl. I thought it was a really good game. Certainly one of the better Super Bowls. Went down to the final seconds. I did not like the result. I can't stand watching Travis Kelce and T Swizzle and the Chiefs celebrate. Bothered me. But they certainly deserve the win. And I'll tell you what, it is very clear that Pat Mahomes is certainly something special. Certainly, I'm not. Tom Brady is in a category of his own. No one can even touch Brady right now. You know, if Mahomes wins another 3, 4 Super Bowls, we'll talk. But he certainly has that mode that he goes into when he's down in a huge game. He has like this unstoppable mode, and he has shown it in a couple on a couple different occasions in the Super Bowl. Actually, he really showed it at both the Super Bowls against the 49ers. But he is certainly a rare breed, and will definitely, I think, one day be a Hall of Famer, and certainly is probably going to end up being one of the best of all time, one of the most clutch quarterbacks of all time. But whether you like the Chiefs or not, I mean, you got to be impressed by Pat Mahomes. So let's go around the table and get your thoughts on the game. Andy, start us off.
It's very simple. When Christian McCaffrey fumbled the ball on the opening drive, the 49ers were done. You just cannot. What the Chiefs are doing right now is very similar to what the Patriots did for so many years. Never can count them out because Patriots had Brady, they had Bill, the Chiefs had Mahomes. I knew as soon as they fumbled the ball, they weren't going to win the game. You just cannot play that way against the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, I picked the Chiefs to win. I said that the 49ers were the more talented team, but they're not the smarter team. And how many more times are they going to keep letting Kyle Shanahan coach this team? This guy, you are never going to get over the top with Kyle Shanahan as your coach. This guy is doomed. He's doomed your teams. He takes no chances whatsoever. They stopped running the ball in the second half. What are you doing? Like, I just don't understand it. The 49ers played not to lose. And I will say, I was kind of bored by the game. I know a lot, don't tell ESPN that. My God. I mean, they think this is like the greatest thing since 28-3. Tom hit the nail on the head. Tom Brady's in a category of his own. But Patrick Mahomes, he's sneaking up there. But he's not ahead of Joe Montana. He's not ahead of Brady yet. Stop. Just stop, please. He's a great player. No question about it. Tom Brady, he had to do this in a much, much more difficult league. And they've changed the rules multiple times and whatnot. But sorry, I know I got off track a little bit. 49ers blew it. They choked. They blew it. Plain and simple. You cannot give a guy like Patrick Mahomes second chances. Just can't do it. And right now, the Chiefs are the team to beat until further notice. Who's going to beat them? Really? I mean, the 49ers aren't good enough. Plain and simple.
Yeah, I have to agree. And, Mahomes wins a couple more. Perhaps he opens that new category by himself on the tier below Tom Brady. But, I hate these people already trying to compare them. It's like, let's just watch the next few years, see what happens.
Enough.
But very different circumstances. And it was definitely a tougher league when Brady had to go through it. You think about all the quarterbacks that Brady had to deal with.
If you look at the quarterbacks around the league right now, they are nothing compared to the quarterbacks around the league in the early to mid 2000s.
Brady,
so much
Manning.
more competition. Yep.
Sorry, Brady, Manning, Roethlisberger, Eli Manning. The list just goes on and on and on. It's just not even close. Who's really challenging Patrick Mahomes? It's not Josh Allen. Joe Burrow, maybe, but he's just injured too much. But he has beaten Mahomes a couple of times. And here's the stat that I heard last week when I was listening to the radio. Brady is 2-0 against Mahomes. He beat him twice in the postseason. And Patrick Mahomes even mentioned that too. But I just think it's just, I don't know. And I've said this before, I was not impressed with the league this year. I do not like the direction this league is going in. I'm sick of all the rule changes. I'm tired of the officials inserting into the games. This was
their quarterback protection rules are not working. I think it's actually leading to more injuries.
Yeah, I agree.
And I don't think it's really making an impact on quarterback injuries. And all it's doing is frustrating people and penalizing teams for unnecessary things. You tap the quarterback, it's a 15-yard penalty. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, Jared, what were your thoughts about the Super Bowl game? Anything you want to add?
Yeah, I mean, first credit to the Chiefs. I mean, and again, Andy hit the nail on the head. The Chiefs are the team to beat right now. They've proved that. Credit to Pat Mahomes. I don't really like Pat Mahomes. I'm sure he's a good guy outside of football. I'm not a big fan of him, though. Heck of a player. I would go as far to say that when McCaffrey fumbled, the game was over. But I can think of multiple drives late in the game, including in overtime, where when San Fran didn't punch it in the end zone, you knew they were toast. Including, again, that drive in overtime. When they didn't score in overtime, the game was toast. Also, if you're San Fran, what are you doing taking the ball first? What are you doing taking the ball first in overtime? That's insane. Again, clearly they didn't know the new overtime rules. I was baffled. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why they got away from San Fran got away from the run in the second half. Some good defense in the first half, but again, fairly boring. Again, tough L for San Fran. I was definitely pulling for them, but again, credit to the Chiefs.
What surprised me the most was actually the Chiefs' defense. They actually outplayed the 49ers. I thought their defense was really impressive. The 49ers, as we talked about going into the game, have far more weapons than the Chiefs. So the fact that the Chiefs' defense pretty much almost completely stopped Brandon Ayuk and Deebo Samuel and Jawan Jennings, and Kittle did next to nothing.
Nothing.
Very impressive defense by the Chiefs.
Steve Spagnuolo, enough said. This guy,
he's been immense. He was immense the last few weeks of the season.
Incredible.
They played really good D.
Steve, what were your thoughts about the big game?
Well, I thought it was a microcosm of the entire season. It was sloppy, boring at times. Yes, it went to overtime, classic finish, all that. Was it an all-time great Super Bowl? No, absolutely not. If you actually watch the game, you'd know that. If you listen to the Super Bowls, you might not think that, but I know it was only the second one ever to go to OT, but all in all, it wasn't a great game. Had an exciting finish. Neither team had anywhere close to their A game. You had turnovers, just uncharacteristic mistakes by both. But to build on Andy's point earlier, the Chiefs are just like the Patriots. And it's not even the Chiefs winning and beating their opponents. It's just that they're smarter. Their opponents screw up. That's how the Pats were so good for so long. They would just be the team to not make a mistake. And, that's what the Chiefs are right now. They're the team that does not screw it up when it really counts. And San Fran has a penchant for screwing things up. I'm not a Kyle Shanahan guy. Never have been. I don't get what the obsession is with that franchise. Him, Lynch, all them. They haven't won a ring. They've been there for, 7 years? I don't get the obsession. The people should obsess over rings, and they don't have any. So the hats off to the Chiefs. I know people around here, as Patrons, a little butthurt, but they're good. That's all I can say. And where do I put Pat Mahomes? Not surpassing Brady, of course. There's only one Tom Brady, but I put him right there, probably with Peyton Manning. Maybe top 2, 3 all time right now. And what gets you up there? Your opponent has to fear you when you have the ball because they know you're going to score. We all knew the Chiefs were going to score late in the game.
Yep.
You knew it was going to happen. It wasn't a surprise at all. So I think that's what makes Mahomes so great, and he still has a ways to go in his career.
And in overtime, that's when Mahomes went into like hyper mode, like
yes,
unstoppable.
Yeah, I thought that was really their best drive of the whole game. They
it
say
was the best drive of the whole game.
They say that for the perfect time. I thought the first half they were a train wreck, and but San Fran had their chances to put more points on the board, didn't do it. And a team like the Chiefs, when they're struggling, you really have to step on them. And only been up by 10, that's generally not going to cut it. The Chiefs could come back from that no problem, and they did.
Again, the Niners had multiple drives where they could have punched it in the end zone and didn't, and had to settle for 3.
Yeah.
And you knew at those points they were probably toast.
Yeah.
You could not settle for 3 against a team like KC in the Super Bowl.
And this is 2 Super Bowls that San Fran has played in. Their last 2, both against the Chiefs. Both times they're up by 10. Both times they lost.
Yep.
And let's not forget either, Joe Tooney was out for this game. A massive, massive loss for the Chiefs. Hey, why can't we get guys like that, right? That was a huge loss.
Yep.
Huge loss. He's played like almost every single game. This guy is tough as nails, and the Chiefs still found a way to get it done.
Some way, somehow.
I'll tell you what, the 49ers tackling was uncharacteristically bad in that game.
Yeah.
I mean, they typically have a good defense and they tackle well and they do the small things, and that's why they've had the success they've had. But I don't know what was going on with the tackling in this game. But it was pretty bad for the 49ers.
Yeah, Tom, their defense wasn't really that good against the Detroit. I don't think they deserved to win that game. Detroit's coaching cost them that game. And
it wasn't good in the beginning of that game. The second half.
No, it was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible in the start.
The 49ers defense was lights out in that game.
Yeah,
they were. And the 49ers are still a really good team, and it really wouldn't surprise me if they win the NFC again next year. They're still a really, really good team. But
here's the thing, though, with making 2 Super Bowls and not winning, I mean, are you considering making some coaching staff changes if you're the 49ers?
Didn't they already fire Wilkes?
They did, yeah.
They did. Terrible move. Absolutely terrible move. That's a bogus move. He was a huge, huge part of that team. He took over from DeMeco Ryans. I mean, that's not an easy task at all. Bad move by the 49ers doing that. You're still a really, really good team, but you gotta make some changes. You gotta figure out a way to score more points. I mean, I don't understand it. Like why do some of these coaches they get to the big game and they can't get it done? Like, I just don't. And Kyle Shanahan, Dan Quinn, his other guys, I'm naming them off. They don't come up big in the big games.
Yeah, they're not built for prime time. And remember, Shanahan was the OC of the Falcons when they blew that 28-3 lead.
Yeah, was it Dan Quinn on that team too?
Dan Quinn was the head coach, and the Niners also had a 10-point lead on the Rams in the conference championship 2 years ago.
Right. Great point, Steve.
So it's just crazy. He and his staff do not know how to finish football games.
No, I think we're going to start
proving it.
Yeah, and I think we got to start giving Andy Reid some credit. He's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, and he and his staff know how to finish games.
They do,
and they've proved it. They've proved it.
Yeah.
Well, is he going to retire? Do you think he's coming back next year?
Yeah, he is.
He's definitely coming back.
Yeah.
Why would he not want to? Really, he's got the best quarterback in the NFL. Now, is Kelsey retiring from what I've heard, or is he still on the contract?
That was a rumor. I haven't heard anything in stone. So,
yeah.
I mean, how old is he? He's not that old. But you got a lot of guys retiring young now. I mean, I guess if he wants to retire, it's not the worst time. He'll go out on top, but I don't know. I mean, I thought it was just a rumor. I didn't really think it was serious at all, but
yeah.
I guess that's a wait and see kind of thing. All I know is if he retires, I don't know what the Chiefs are going to do. They're going to really need to bring in some weapons. He's pretty much the only weapon they had going throughout the entire postseason.
Yeah.
And
Isaiah Pacheco,
Super Bowl game, but
he's a
no
good
one else.
Yeah, but very true. But Isaiah Pacheco,
Yeah,
very, very good player for that team. And listen, guys, we got to start talking about it. They very well could three-peat. Again, because I just don't know who's going to knock them off. I think the league is very diluted. It's watered down.
Got to find a way to get Matt Patricia on the Chiefs coaching staff. So
Oh, God.
Jesus. Come
Tom
on,
would love
man.
to see that, right?
Your
No,
favorite, Tom.
No, that's not
Your
happening.
favorite coach in the whole league.
No. But you
Wow.
got to start talking about it. They very well could go with three-peat. But again, the whole thing with Brady and everything, that's got to stop. I mean, just please, enough.
Hey, speaking of coaches joining coaching staffs, have you guys heard the rumor about Belichick possibly joining the 49ers staff?
I've heard that, and honestly, why would you not? If you're John Lynch, get on the phone right now, say goodbye to Kyle. You bring Bill in, they win the Super Bowl.
Well, they fired the defensive coordinator, so why
not? Bring him in. But let me tell you something. If he goes to the 49ers and they win, oh my, this is going to look. It is going to be
That would be
anarchy
insane.
here in New England.
That would be absolutely insane.
Well, they got the players. That's what I'm saying. They're a coach away. Get on the phone, say goodbye to Shanahan, bring Bill in, you win the Super Bowl next year. He's got the whole. That is the perfect landing spot for him.
I could picture it happening. It's almost like it's too good of a setup. Like you figure if Belichick's going to be anywhere, I mean, where else is he going to go? This seems like the only possible thing that could happen for him.
Well, I'm also hearing rumors too that he's going to go to Dallas in 2 years. They're going to get rid of McCarthy next year, and he's going into Dallas. I've heard that too.
Do it now, though. But they're going to wait till he's 74 and bring him.
I don't know. That's a good
That's
point.
Dallas for you.
2 years
That's
old.
Dallas.
But that's Dallas for you. You're exactly right. But
True.
Why would he not want to go to San Francisco? And again, he's got Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy's still a very good quarterback.
I agree.
And he really did not play that bad in the Super Bowl. Again, I think the coaching staff let him down. I really do.
Did.
And again, you have to credit Spags. I mean, you brought it up before. Spags.
True. Yep.
Again, his game plans the last 5 weeks of the season, top tier.
Yep.
You know, they played lights out defense for the most part.
I don't know what
Again,
in
he
the
was a big
world
reason
made
why.
them stop giving the ball to McCaffrey in the second half.
No, that was stunning.
Stunning. Yeah. It really is. It's just it's coaching. This is a coaching problem with that football team. I'm telling you right now.
It's common sense, though. Christian McCaffrey is your best offensive weapon. When you're in a big game like this, you put the ball in your best offensive weapon's hands. End of story.
I agree. But get Bill into San Francisco. I want to see it. I know all three of you want to see it. We all want to see it. And I want them, and I can't believe I'm going to say this, I want them to absolutely just steamroll the Patriots next season.
Then what if he brings in Matty P on defense?
Oh yeah.
That'd be great.
Go.
No, then the team's done. They're not going anywhere.
Guys, the Patriots have no shot to win in San Francisco next year, regardless of who the coach is.
I mean,
they are going to get steamrolled in that game. It's going to be horrible.
I mean, look at the Eagles. They look like the best team in the NFL all season. They bring Matt Patricia, and they lose 5 of their last 6 games.
I'm honestly surprised they bought Sirianni back. He's lost that team completely.
I didn't think he was going to be fired. I had a good feeling he was going to be back, but does he deserve to be back? Debatable.
I mean, you can't fire a head coach, though, after he just made a Super Bowl.
That's my point, yeah.
But it's just the way how awful the Eagles looked down the stretch. They were terrible. I mean, they completely just gave up. They quit. But if they don't win this year, then he's gone. There's just no way they bring him back another year.
Oh, that was an embarrassment what happened to the Eagles. They looked great all season long for the first 10, 11 weeks, and then just completely fell apart and ended up losing to the Bucks in the first round.
I tell you what, Tampa Bay had a good season. They totally exceeded my expectations. I mean, they gave the Lions everything they could handle in that game. And that, to me, was the biggest surprise this year. A year after losing Tom Brady, and they were one game away from going to the NFC Championship game. You're going to give Todd Bowles and his staff a lot of credit. That is something I did not see coming.
Baker
Hey, Andy,
Mayfield.
who in the AFC do you think can really contend with the Chiefs right now? Is there any team in the AFC you can contend with the Chiefs?
Chargers, because they hired Harbaugh. And
Houston.
They have a talented
Houston.
roster.
Okay.
I think Houston can, because I really like D'Amico Ryans. CJ Stroud is the real deal. They got a lot of talent on that team. They just were not quite ready yet. I'm done with the Ravens. They're another guy, Lamar Jackson. Can't get it. The Ravens were an embarrassment in that game against the Chiefs. They were awful in that game. I think Houston can, but no, Tom's saying the Chargers. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh.
They finally have competent coaching over there.
They do. That's a huge story.
Harbaugh can coach.
Going over to the Chargers. I mean, it's not going to be a cakewalk. The Chiefs are still a team to beat, but it's going to be a lot tougher on the Chiefs in that division. And I think though Houston could.
I would say the Bengals if Burrow is healthy and playing top tier football.
Yep.
If the Bengals are hitting on all cylinders, they are hard to beat.
Yeah.
Again, I would also say the Chargers right now, even though I don't really want to say it. And again, I think Houston would be my sleeper team. I don't think you can give anybody in the AFC East. Definitely not Buffalo, not us, not the Jets, not Miami.
If you get the Raiders from the last 6 weeks of the season, and they could do that all season, they will definitely be competitive.
Yeah, I'm glad Antonio Pierce got the job. I thought the team really rallied around him. And I think that's a good. I think that was a good move. The Broncos are an absolute disaster. They're not going anywhere. I mean, what a disaster that has been for Sean Payton and that staff.
Yeah,
but no,
and it's not going to get better either.
No, it's not getting better.
It's not. Who could really unseat them? I agree with Cincy. I guess Houston has a sleeper team. I am so tired of hearing about Buffalo and Baltimore, how great they are. Oh, they're good teams. They're much better than us. Certainly, don't get me wrong. But in terms of championship contenders, and same with San Fran, I'm just sick of hearing it, how great Kyle Shanahan is. It's the Chiefs world, and we're all just living in it. They're the only great team. That's it. Until someone proves otherwise, I think the other 31 teams, honestly, should just shut up. That's it.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Right now, they're in a bracket of their own. They're in a tier of their own. But you got to think at some point, hopefully next year, someone's going to finally step up and give them a run for their money or a little scare. I mean, going back to that Ravens game, I mean, Lamar Jackson, a horrible choke in the playoffs in general, but they were really only one play away from winning it. If they got themselves a more clutch quarterback in Baltimore, they might be able to do it. They certainly have the defense there. But yeah, you're right. I mean, Chiefs are in a league of their own right now, and it's very impressive what they're doing. And it's kind of like the Pats in the early 2000s and in the 16, 17, 18 era.
Where do the Chiefs go in the draft this year? Wide receiver? You have to probably go wide receiver, right?
Yes,
Probably.
They need weapons bad.
Yeah.
Really bad.
I mean, Rashee Rice is a good player, but you can't keep relying on a lot of those other guys.
So
Watson or definitely not, obviously not Tony.
Right.
Valdez Scantling. I think you have to go receiver.
Yeah, the Chiefs, you don't even need an explosive player. You just need someone who is fundamentally sound and can actually,
which they can definitely get late in the first round.
Right.
They can get that easily late in the first round.
And it's kind of like how it was with Brady. You didn't need the best receiver. You just need someone decent that had good.
Yeah, just need is someone competent. That's it.
Yep.
Right.
Like a Deion Branch kind of guy, or
David Patton, Deion Branch, David Givens, that made those Patriots teams so well. And speaking of the Patriots, what do you think about their coaching hires?
Solid.
I
like it.
I guess we'll see. It's a wait and see for me.
Yeah, I'm on the same page as Tom. I'll say we'll see. It's kind of a mishmash of coaches. There's no, one
I kind of like that though, because I think we need something different. And
I do agree with that. So I think it could go. It could go one of two ways. It could wind up all coming together, work out great, or nothing really substantiates and it just doesn't work, which is not far off from where we are right now. So I guess there's nothing to lose by having a mishmash. Offensively, I think we have a whole new staff except for Troy Brown, who'll be back in some role. So I'm all for that. The offense was just awful last year. There's nothing worth saving.
Alex Van Pelt he's been coaching for 20 years in this league. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's pretty good. I don't think he's not bad. And I did like they had a press conference the other day down at Gillette, and I like somebody asked him about Mac Jones, and he said everything is on the table.
No,
I liked
that should not be on the table.
No, he said everything's on the table.
It'd be a possibility, though.
But I don't think he meant it that way. I just like the fact that they didn't give a bunch of basic answers. They did kind of go into depth, and DeMarcus Covington has got some experience as well. Listen, I've been going back and forth on this. Well, now you turn your attention to free agency and the draft, but the more I'm starting to think about it, I think I want him to get Marvin Harrison Jr., and here's why. I just think that you can still find a veteran, quarterback, or maybe get someone in the second or third round. There's still been very good quarterbacks that have come out of the second and third round. I think this guy I think he's the guy. You get him on this team and you sign someone like a Mike Evans or an Amari Cooper. And let's not forget Kendrick Bourne. He was having a really good season until he got hurt last year. And Demario Douglas's talent. Now you're starting to get some pieces in place here. And that, that's just what I'm thinking. I don't know. I know we need a quarterback, but man, Marvin Harrison Jr. I think this guy's got something, and you need something. Get me excited. Let's go. Let's just
go get Baker Mayfield.
I'd take him right now. Absolutely.
He proved he could win in the playoffs,
and he's tough.
He's clutch.
Yeah, you put together a team like that. You bring Hunter Henry back. Okay. Maybe you got a little something going here. I'm not saying they're a Super Bowl caliber team, but just at least get me excited. Like, hey, I want to tune in and I want to watch, because this team, like Steve just said, was atrocious on offense. They were horrible.
Historically bad. Historically bad.
It was hard to. Yeah, I mean, like we couldn't watch.
One of the worst offenses, maybe the worst in NFL history.
Yeah, they scored.
Somehow we beat Buffalo and made Buffalo look like trash, and Mac Jones looked like. Prime.
This team only scored 236 points the entire season.
Unbelievable.
Now, in 2021, when they were hot in the middle of the year, they scored 241 in a 7-game span.
Unbelievable.
So the question that, and even like 22, the offense, was down from 21, but they could at least scratch some points out. How did things get so bad so quickly? It's truly mind blowing.
There was so much dissension in the off. You're seeing everything. I was just reading something
Mac
before
Jones
I came on.
How.
Well, that too. But I was just reading something before we came on the air about Bob Kraft needs to stop talking. He's really starting to annoy me. Now he's talking about how Giselle and Tom were fighting with Bill Belichick. I'm so sick and tired of this. Enough is enough.
Yeah, I thought when they had that speech and, Belichick praised the Pats, it was going to be over. And now there's just all this random chatter from the Kraft camp, really. And just kind of this back and forth. It's almost like, and they left them out of like the documentary or something like that. It's almost like they're trying to trash Belichick now.
Enough's enough, really. The guy brought us 6 Super Bowls. Move on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of folks who like to say, "Oh, well, Bill never won without Brady," which is true. As a head coach, the 6 rings came with Brady. To that, I say, Mr. Kraft has never won without Belichick or Brady.
Right.
So there you go. But if the Pats are terrible this year, guess who it's on?
And that argument, doesn't really mean anything, because the fact is Belichick won 6 Super Bowls. Whether it was with Brady or not, he won 6, helped win 6, and he's going to be in the Hall of Fame. And he was he had a lot of good teams here and many years of success. So why you would want to kind of not really trash, but I guess it is kind of trashing, but why you would want to talk bad about someone that has helped your franchise win as much as they have is beyond me. Like, just get over it and move on.
Yeah, I agree. It seems as though they've forgotten that they had no rings before they hired him.
Right. And, it was, Belichick who got them their first rings along with Brady. So They're
I'm
both
just
good in my book.
I'm just really disappointed that not okay. They moved on from Bill.
I'll tell you
It
what, the
was
Pats are becoming very unlikable in this
oh, I
situation.
agree. I'm just really, really disappointed in how this thing went downhill so fast. And I'm not even talking about when Brady left, but
They
really,
better hope they're good next year, though, or there's going to be a lot of fans.
They won't be.
they're not going to be. I mean, I know I gave you that scenario, but is it really going to shock you if they get another top 3 draft pick? No, it's not.
No, you just went 4-13 with a Hall of Fame coach. Now you don't have a Hall of Fame coach.
Well, if you went out, you know
So
what? I mean, the fact is, though, this Pats team has a good defense. They don't need much work on the defense. Their defense, I think, would have probably been statistically at the very top of the league if they had any kind of offense. I think as long as they keep the foundation they have there defensively and don't change a lot of things, I think they're going to have a great defense next year. But they have zero offense. They need an offense.
Where do you
need
think
a
they go in the
quarterback.
draft then, Tom? Quarterback? Do you want them to go quarterback in the draft?
You go, well, it depends. I mean, if you're going to get a veteran quarterback in free agency, you go Marvin Harrison Jr. in the draft. If you don't, you better get a quarterback in the draft because you need a quarterback one way or the other. So the top priority, whether it's in the draft or free agency, needs to be quarterback because they don't have anything that even resembles a starter at that
I don't know if we've
position.
said this in the last couple of years. I'm gonna let it rip for a minute. I think this is the most massive offseason we've had in a long time. I I don't know how it could be any more clear. Offensively, we need a lot to address. Again, do we bring in a free agent QB? Do we bring in a free agent wide receiver like Mike Evans or something? But again, why would Mike Evans or even Baker Mayfield want to leave Tampa Bay when they made the playoffs, played well, and we were absolute trash?
Well, no, I don't
You
think
know, but like
I was just kind of using
you have to address something as well in the draft. Again, if they trade that pick, I'm going to be pissed. I mean, it'll be a very Belichick, or I mean, I don't know. Belichick isn't even here anymore. If they trade the pick, I'm going to be pissed. They have to do something there. Again, if you think you can bring in a receiver, you have to go QB. If Daniels is there, you have to take Daniels. He's immense. If Drake May is there, maybe you take Drake May as well. Tall kid, big arm.
And I agree, Jared.
Smart
I do
QB.
not want to see them trade that pick down. That would
Can't
be
trade it.
enraging
You
after
can't.
the season they just had.
You
Can't trade
have
it.
to pick there.
Yes.
You absolutely have to pick there. But again, if you can get a QB, if you can get Cousins or somebody, I mean, anybody's going to be better than Mac Jones at this point. Let's face it. If you can bring in a QB, you have to go Marvin Harrison if he's there. The guy is far too good. And this is a deep receiver class, but the guy is just far too good to pass up. Again, I think he would probably mesh well with some of our other receivers. But again, yeah, like this is an enormous offseason. You have to do something. You have to address the offense in numerous ways. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh,
It's-
absolutely. They need
yeah.
everything on offense. Quarterback, receivers, running backs, tight ends, everything. You name it. They need it.
And look at their schedule next year. It is not easy.
Not easy.
Not
I don't know
easy
about
at
tight
all.
end. Hunter Henry did play well the last few weeks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if that's a need, but
Well, they
yeah,
only
I mean,
had one
QB
good tight
receiver.
end.
Mike Gesicki was where was this guy this year? He was
Yeah,
totally
no good.
and
Well-
no, but I agree with Jared. Hunter Henry's a solid tight end. He's a really good player, but yeah, this is the biggest draft in 30 years when they drafted Drew Bledsoe #1 back in 1993. So they can't screw this up. You cannot mess this up. You have to at least show. No one's expecting them to go to the playoffs next year. I think we all agree with that. But you have to at least show, all right, we're heading in the right direction.
Right. I mean, if you're competitive and you go, let's say 7-10, but you're competitive all year, that's a success in my book for what this team just did this past.
I mean, with
Yeah, I agree.
expectations, it has to be a success.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
Got to start somewhere.
but if you go 4-12, 4-13, whatever, and you're not competitive, it's just another major disappointment. So I think a reasonable expectation is 7-8 wins. Pretty much competitive for the whole season. That would be a success in my book, but anything under that is a failure. So we shall see. Free agency and the draft are going to be really interesting this year. That's for sure.
And not to mention, you could have a trade made too. If I were the Pats, I would try and trade for Fields, and then draft Harrison at third overall. Now, usually I wouldn't go receiver that high, but because it's Marvin Harrison Jr., you know the bloodlines there. There's some legit talent. So I think I would go with him if he's there at 3. Drafting a quarterback in the first round is not a sure thing. If you can get Fields for a reasonable price, I think you have better odds.
That's the thing, though. I don't think you
with
can get
him
Fields for a
panning
reasonable
out.
price. Can you actually get Fields for a reasonable price?
Well,
I highly doubt
someone
it.
says the first rounder. That's not happening. I wouldn't pay a second rounder either. Third rounder, I might do a third, maybe a late pick for him. I think it'd be worth it. He'll be in his 4th year. I just think trying to develop a quarterback when you're trying to fix a lot of other spots, it's a big ask. And we just tried to develop a quarterback and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I love
you're
that
right.
the Bears are planning to sell off everybody and rebuild again. Seems like that's all they do.
I don't really understand why, because I actually think they were getting better towards the end of the year. What are they doing over there?
The thing
They
that
were.
bothers me with Fields, though, is he's hurt too much. He is very injury prone. I mean,
Kind of like Trey Lance.
do you
Very
want?
injury prone.
Yeah, I mean, do you want an injury prone guy leading your franchise? It hasn't worked out well for most teams.
Well, right now at this point, I don't know about you guys. I just want someone better than what we saw this past year, because that's
pretty much anybody besides Zach Wilson.
It's not even the losses. It's unwatchable. And it's unlikable. Like they're going down the same path that the Red Sox have been going down the last handful of years. It's not a good path.
No,
it's not even wins and losses. You got to get back to an entertaining product. Because how many games last year were actually entertaining? A small handful. A lot of them were just awful.
Maybe two at most.
I was going to say maybe 2.
Yeah, 2 of 17. That's not a very high percentage.
No. I was sleeping on the couch for most of the games. Put it that way.
Yeah.
yes, it's good though. You're
It's
able
background noise. That's all it was. Just
Absolutely.
background noise.
Well, believe it or not, we are out of time. What a great discussion we had today. We have so much more to talk about, but what's great is we have a lot of weeks to do it, and we're certainly going to get more into free agency as the time approaches. We'll get more into the draft. Drafts coming up as well. So there's going to be a lot to talk about down the stretch, and in the next few shows, we'll touch on the Bruins. They're having some good success, and we'll check in on the Celtics as well. But for this edition, that is it. We do have time, however, for final thoughts. Let's see. Who wants to start? Andy, any final thoughts?
I actually have 2 really quick final thoughts. First, coming up next Saturday and Sunday, March 2nd and 3rd, the Milford Stingrays are going to be having their championship meets over at Milford High School. There'll be 12 teams competing. My daughter competes for the Stingrays, so she'll be competing in those championship meets as well. This is such a great program. It's a great organization. So come on down, and if you want to watch some athletes swim, it's a great time over at the plenty of room up in the balcony. And speaking of my daughter, I wanted to let you know, and speaking of the Patriots, my daughter has been invited to Gillette Stadium on March 9th. She did the NFL Read Between the Lines program put on through the Patriots. It started in training camp and just ended a few weeks ago. She was one of 30 kids selected to come and be honored by the Patriots at Gillette Stadium.
Awesome.
I'm really, really proud. It's a great honor. And more importantly, she improved on her reading so much, and it was fun. And we're really excited to get down to Gillette Stadium. I'll make sure to take a lot of pictures and share them all with you.
Big congratulations to Amelia.
Thank you, Tom.
All right,
We're
Steve.
going to be wearing a Mac Jones shirt that day, too, just for you.
Man.
If only I
Well,
could,
it's
if only I could reach my Tommy Cutlet shirt that's sitting next to me.
Yeah.
Steve, any final thoughts?
Well, it's almost that time. High school playoffs are coming up. The brackets will come out Saturday. Best of luck to all the teams around here. I know the Hillers have some teams. We should be pretty high in the brackets. So, Tom, I'm sure they'll be keeping you busy over the next few weeks. Good luck to everyone come selection Saturday, if you will. And the two teams on Causeway Street, we've touched on them a little bit. They both look good. The Bruins, good to see them snap out of it. That little funk. Nice wins over Dallas on Monday, and the Oilers last night / this morning. That game got over about 120, and they played in Calgary tonight. So no rest for the weary. So go Bees, go Seas, and good luck to all the student athletes out there.
All right, absolutely. Jared, any final thoughts?
College basketball. Big fan of college basketball. You guys know that. Big UNC fan. Two things. What is Rick Pitino doing? That was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if you guys saw, but they lost the other night.
Oh yeah.
Hall, and he absolutely blasted everybody. Didn't hold back a single bit. What are you doing, man? Like, honestly, what are you doing? Like, I respect Rick Pitino. He's a hell of a coach. Has a track record to prove it. But what are you doing, man? You cannot blast literally everybody on your team or everything about your team just because you got your butt kicked by Seton Hall. Maybe you need to do a better job. Come on, man. That was absolutely insane. I could not believe that. Also, very excited for March Madness. A lot of movement at the top of the top 10, Alderad, et cetera, recently. Purdue lost the other night. UConn got their butt kicked by Creighton.
That was a shocker. They just
Creighton shot the lights out. They were phenomenal.
Points.
Absolutely phenomenal. But yeah, just really excited. Should be a lot of awesome, games the final couple of weeks. And I know we got UNC Duke round 2 coming up. So yeah, no, just very excited. Good stuff.
Absolutely. March is it's a pretty fun month between the college tournament, high school sports, and of course, hockey and NBA.
My favorite month. Also my birthday. So
baseball starting up. Can't beat it. Looking forward to it. And speaking of March, the Hopkinton Hillers have many playoff teams. 3 are definitely in, possibly 4. We're waiting on the girls' hockey rankings. They should make it. They deserve to make it. The rankings still do need some work. There's a team that has, I'm not going to mention the team by name because I don't want to call them out. They're a good program, but they have lost to the Hopkinton Dover Sherborne girls team and also tied them. And they have 3 less wins, and somehow they're in the top 32, and Hopkinton Dover Sherborne's not. Doesn't make much sense to me. So there needs to be a little bit of adjusting going on with how they come up with the numbers on these rankings, because there's a team with 2 wins has no business being in the playoffs over a team with 5 wins that beat that team and tied that team with 2 wins. So anyways, that's my rant. But
I got one last thing. Sorry, Tom. I got one last thing. Gents, if you guys haven't checked out what happened during the University of Texas men's basketball halftime show the other night, absolute must watch. Guy on like a 20-foot unicycle going to one end, dribbling a basketball, dunking, going to the other end, canning it from 3 while on a unicycle, and then juggling like 5 bowling pins at the same time.
Wow.
Absolutely insane.
On a unicycle? Oh my goodness.
We're going to have Steve Watson try that. Yeah. Penalty for losing in the kicks.
On a unicycle. There we go. He tries it at the Bruins game on the ice, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Be sure to stay tuned to our website, hcam.tv, as well as our social media pages for the latest updates about Hiller sports and where they will be in the postseason and everything you need to know. But for Andy Barron, Steve Watson, Jared Keene, I'm Tom Nappy. That's it for this edition of HCAM Sports Talk. Take care, be well. We'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.
On Wednesday, February 14th, Hiller boys hockey took on Norwood in a matchup to determine the TVL Large title. It was a scoreless game heading into the second period.
10 seconds left on the Hiller power play. There's a shot, turned away, off the rebound, it's put in! James Hayward! It deflected a Hayward, and off the rebound, he nets it. At 6:51 left to go, and the Hillers take advantage of the power play.
It was a 1-0 Hiller lead heading into the third period.
Wynn trying to steal it away. Nice move by Gillis. There he goes. Gillis sends it over, and it's put in. Well, Nick Berardinelli was flying up the ice. Gillis along the near side. Caleri, the only one playing up for the Hillers. Hayward approaching, takes it, makes it! What a shot by James Hayward! His second goal of the evening! That puck was just sitting there waiting for someone to take it. James Hayward comes up, says, I'll take it. Pops it right in. Race up the ice. Sends it over. Norwood trying to look for one last shot. Caleri gets in front of it, wrister, and that's it! The Hopkinton Hillers hang on!
The goal by James Hayward would be enough, and the Hillers took the epic TVA Large battle 2-1. The Hillers improved to 14-3-2 with the win and clinched the TVA Large title. Playoff-bound Norwood fell to 13-3-2.
Actually, just the glory. We asked 100 fourth graders, what is a state in the western part of the United States?
Come on, world map, where are you? Confident.
Confident?
Very confident, apparently.
Fabulous. I'm Cindy Donda, and I'll see you there.
Saturday morning cartoons are back. Every Saturday at 8 a.m., HCAM's Toon Time has an hour of classic cartoons, from Betty Boop to Superman to Popeye to Bugs Bunny and more. You'll see your old favorites and discover new ones. So tune in to Toon Time, Saturdays at 8, and start your weekend off with a laugh.